Supermom MD, Mother Determined, Not Your Mother's Podcast. This is a podcast about juggling motherhood, career, dating, and going into your 40s. Are you ready? Let's go!
Hello! Yay! I'm so excited to be here.
Show number 4.
Yay!
Here we are. How you doing, Kristin?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about today's topic. I'm very excited. You know that I've had many conversations with you about this, and I know that you and I lie on opposite sides of the fence on this.
Yep.
And I keep trying to get you to come to the dark side, but you just
I think it's cool though.
You're all bubbliness and light.
Well, that's what makes our friendship great, is that we have different points of view on things.
That's true.
And I think, I love listening to your points of view, and I love that we're friends and we don't always have to have the same point of view.
Nice. You're so sweet. This is why I keep you around though, because yes. But I just want you to put a pin in that and what you just said, because we are going to touch on having friends.
Mm-hmm.
Later.
Yes, that'll be definitely a show in the future. But what is today's topic?
Today's topic is, should you share your dreams and your goals with other people? That is today's topic.
Well, see, my obviously point of view is, yes, I love sharing everything. I get super excited. I am not good with secrets. I'm not even good with my own secrets. I just can't even keep a secret. So don't tell me secrets. I might not tell anybody that matters, but I might tell the person, at the grocery store.
That's all right.
But I get super excited, and I love dreaming, and I love building dreams, and I love getting excited about dreams and goals. And, I'm one of these, I write my goals down. I write my dreams. I believe if you talk about it and you say it out loud, it's going to happen. And so I'm all about hey, make it happen and do it, so I love that. But what's your view?
I think you were the first person to talk to me about mood boards and about dream boards. I think you were the first one, years ago, before that became a thing. And I did one, and then I got bored of it.
That's funny.
It's somewhere. Anyway, it's probably at a Goodwill somewhere. It looks good. Anyway, my side of the coin is that, I like to keep things to myself. I am not a very open, public person with my dreams and my goals. I tend to treat my goals and my dreams almost as children that I will not send out into the world until I feel like they are ready for the world. But there are two sides of this coin, and both sides will fight fervently for their point and to win their point. But I think that there are pros and cons when you look at both. Do we share our dreams? Do we not share our dreams with others? I think there are two sides of that coin. And so what are the reasons why you think you like sharing your goals and your dreams with other people?
I love it because I feel like when I say it out loud, that gives me a plan of action. It gives me not purpose, but it gives me it defines it as real, right? If this is my dream and I say it out loud, then it's actually really something that's meaningful to me, and it gives me that kind of oomph or motivation to kind of push towards it. And so I've noticed if I don't talk about things, they're not anything I'm ever pretty much going to do.
I got it. Do you feel like sharing your goals and your dreams gives you an accountability partner?
Yeah, actually I do. And I'm not afraid of others trying to take my dreams or goals. I'm always this believer, hey dude, if you could do it better, go for it. Cause then I don't have to invent it. Right. So I'm all good with that. But typically my dreams and goals are almost I think of it like playing golf, right? It's basically competing with myself. And so that's how I think about it.
So you have a really good perspective about this. Whereas I don't mean to sound like the troll under the bridge, this is mine, or Gollum with the ring, and Lord of the Rings, this is my precious. It's not like that for me. It's more just I don't want people to poo-poo on my dreams before I get them going. Right. And so I'm a writer, I'm a writer. I've been a writer for years, and as are you. Right. And whereas you'll talk about, your books and things like that with other people, I will just sit in my room and write and write and write and keep them and keep all my ideas to myself. Like I wrote a book a year ago and I just shared it with you.
I know. And that's on my to-do list this weekend, which I'm very excited about. And I put it on my schedule, just so you know. So so that's how I get my stuff done. It's like, I put it on my schedule, like, okay, just like I have a shopping list, I have a schedule list.
I love that.
Yeah. So
I love that. Well, that's really, I know how packed your schedule is, so that makes me feel really good, actually. Like I'm actually smiling so much that I can barely talk right now because that makes me so happy. Like
I'm excited that you finally shared it, because I know that was not something easy for you. I remember when you were talking about writing it, you were very like not giving any details about it. Like I'd ask a question, and you'd be like, I don't know. And I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna stop, because like I know
if you pry, I clam up even more. That's very typically me. It's amazing that we have.
Like I just know it's your thing,
Yeah, and that is my thing, right? And so that's part of my not wanting to share. It's because it's very hard for me to share with people, even friends, even close friends, and I think that has to do with the fact that I am never sure that I have the right accountability partner. Because back in my past, when I first started wanting to become a writer and writing things like novel length books and things like that, I would send out my chapters that I was working on and I would share them with people that were in my life, right? My friends, things like that. I never got any feedback on it. And I was like, wow, my writing must really suck for somebody not to sit down and like read through a few chapters for me. Like even my own mother, and I love my mother. I'm very close to my mother. But even my mother, I was like, really? Can you guys like really? So I think it's really important to have the right accountability partner. And it's interesting because when I was doing some research on this topic, I ran across this idea of an accountability partner and asking your accountability partner to give you praise that's based on the process over the person. And what I mean by that is that they're just not telling you what you want to hear because they like you or they love you as a person, but because they are actually giving you constructive feedback based on your process and based on the things that you're trying to create. So again, I did give you my book to read. I'm super thrilled that I am on your calendar, that you're going to read this.
What I said to you though, when you said,
I know. What did you say?
I told you, I said, I love you so much. I said, and I've seen your writing. I read your blogs. I think you're like an amazing writer. You're one of my top 5 people to read anything from. And, it always blows my mind that you have any doubt about it, because it's like, you make it look so easy. It's like how you write it's like funny, but you could be like quirky, funny, like heartwarming, like all of the, descriptive words put together.
So what did you tell me?
I told you I could not be unbiased. I was really honest with you. I was like, I know because I love you that I know I'm going to love it. But even like I don't even know what I would be biased on, because I already know what the story kind of is, because it's your life.
Right.
So I'm already in awe of that. Just so you know, and I know you already know that. And then I already read your blogs and I read your stuff. And so it's like, I know I'm going to like be like, yes, I'm just going to get popcorn and some wine. And I'm just going to like read. And I'm going to be like, yes. Oh, yes. Oh,
I'm hoping. See, and what I'm hoping for though, and what I told you in response was, please don't read it from a point of being unbiased. You actually said, I can't be honest with you because I love you. And I was like, that is not what I want. So when you're reading it, I want you to think.
I said, if it really sucks, I'll totally tell you. But like, I don't believe it's gonna suck though. Like I just already know it's not. And so
like I want you to not go into it thinking this is my girlfriend whom I love. I want you to go into it thinking my worst ex-boyfriend wrote this and rip it apart, because I feel like that's the kind of constructive criticism that I need.
You are so hard
you
on yourself, and I think that's what that's the crazy thing. Like, it's your goal and your dream. So like, first of all, I already know I'm gonna love it, but okay, let's pretend that I'm not gonna. Okay, and here's the thing though, it's not my goal or dream, it's yours. So like, It doesn't actually matter if I love it or don't love it. Like, you accomplished it. Like, was on your bucket list forever. Like, you kept telling me, I'm going to write this book. I'm going to write this book. And then you write the book and you're like, I'm not going to share it with anybody. I'm not going to let anybody see it. I'm like, what?
It's so true. And I love that you call me out on my bull stuff, because this is what a good friend does, right? You totally call me out on my bull crap, and I needed to hear that. And you're absolutely right. You're totally, completely, 100% right. Yeah. Well, totally. So I guess. So are you a good accountability partner then for me? Because I feel like even though you love me.
If I promise, I will, if I start reading it and you're going down a rabbit hole where I'm like, dude, she went squirrel, cow, whatever, like it's all over the place, I will tell you. But like I said though, like my heart is telling me it's not going to be that way. Only because I've read your stuff before. So like, if I've never read your stuff before, or if I didn't know you, then I think it would be like, oh, okay. Like, but again, no pressure, but I already know what to kind of expect from your writing. So it's, I wish I had your talent. Like, I don't have that talent that you have.
Oh my goodness.
And you can
Did this turn into the Kristin Shanna show? This is not the Kristin Shanna show, but I love it.
Like the goal though is like when you have this issue with your goals and your dreams of not sharing it, and it's because, in my mind, it's because you're so afraid what other people are going to think. Like, at first I thought you thought, oh, maybe someone's going to steal my idea. But then, like, nobody can steal your story. No. So, like, I was like, well, that can't be it. And so there's this kind of, fear inside of you. And I get it, because, like, okay, so, like, everybody that does kind of know me knows that I've wanted to be an actress since probably the time I was 3. Yep. And then, and I was doing some stuff before getting married, and then having Jackson. And the deal was, when Jackson got into preschool, that I could go back and audition and do stuff. Well, then obviously, if you know my story, then Jackson, obviously, there's a whole other chain of events that happened. So I couldn't do that. Well, a couple years ago, I remember being really afraid, like, to say, like, oh yeah, I'm going to give this a shot again. And so I still, like, even when people like talk to me, and like, tomorrow I'm on set in the morning, right, for 4 hours doing internet commercials. And it's like, but yeah, I'm like, oh, but they're just internet commercials. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I mean, to me,
I'm like, God, no.
But like,
that's amazing. You're living your dream.
But it's like, I'm living my dream. And I always joke, and I'm like, it's not like I'm a D actress. I'm like a double Z or a Z. So I'm not even sure, like, if I'm in the alphabet, but I'm like way at the bottom. But what I love is that I'm going for it. But here's the thing, because I live in California, when you live in California, especially, and I'm sure probably New York is the same way, if you say, like, oh, I want to be an actress, right? People give you this look, right? Like, they're just like, right? And I'm just like, like, or they kind of laugh at you, they mock you, whatever. Like, of course you do. Who doesn't, right? And so I kind of get that feeling that you must feel sometimes. Like, I get afraid to say that. And then I decided a couple of years ago, like, screw this. Like, I am going to like say exactly what I want, and I'm going to go for it. And then I went for a musical, which is even funnier because I don't sing like at all. And I got a part in it, which was even funnier because and I remember standing there on stage, and I hadn't been on a theater stage for years, like, right? And I remember the smell, and I remember like going, wow, I felt like I was at home. And then I remember thinking, oh crap, they want me to sing? I don't know what tone or whatever. I don't know. Like, do we have to play the piano with it? Like, can't I just sing it? And I literally say that, right? And then the director starts laughing. He's like, well, just start singing. I'll figure out what key you're in. I'm like, okay. I still to this day have no clue what key I'm in. And I remember that episode on Friends where Phoebe, she would just try all the stuff. And she, like, even when she was running, like, she runs crazy. I'm a total Friends, like, lover. Like I love that show. And like, so there's an episode where friends, like where Phoebe and Rachel are running, and Phoebe runs like all goofy and funny. And she's like, why are you running that way? She goes, because it's more fun. And so like, I literally am on stage and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be Phoebe. I am just going to like, no matter what comes out of my vocal cords at this point, I am just going to I practice all these like motions with it. And like, and I felt like such a dork. And then I like got real quiet. I left. And then I didn't hear back for like 6 days. And I was like, well, that was at least, hey, when I'm 90, I can say I tried out. That's like what I told myself.
Right.
And then I get a phone call. Oh, you're in the ensemble. And I was like, what does that mean? Oh, I'm in the background. Cool. Yes. I like, this is, oh, you're not going to actually mic me up? Oh, cool. Like,
whatever.
Like,
but you're on stage and you're doing what you wanted to do.
But I was afraid to tell anybody. I was super afraid because I didn't want people to be like making fun of me. But then I was like, you know, I don't actually care. Like what am I going to do? We've said this in other shows, like, and this is kind of my philosophy in life, clearly. When I'm 90 years old, like, am I going to sit back and go, oh, I never tried it because I was embarrassed that Joe Blow like was going to make fun of me. You know what I mean? And so like Joe Blow doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if I fail at it. Okay, well, you know, and right now I'm having a blast. Like I have like 2 scripts still to memorize tonight. It's super fast paced. And I love that it's like going towards my dream, and you get paid to go towards your dream, which is even cooler. And so it's just like, I don't know, it's just super fun, and the opportunity's there. And who knows, will I ever get something really big? I don't know, but I'm not going to stop trying, because maybe I'll be the wedding singer grandma, and that'll be my first movie where like I'll like on my deathbed I got to rap, you know, a song or something. You know, I don't know.
That's
but
right.
Like, that's why I think it's important to go and talk about your dreams, because part of having the dream for me is talking about it, because that's me living it. Does that make sense?
That does make a lot of sense. And just for the record, if you are the rapping grandma, please take me to the movie premiere, because I will.
We'll be like the little Golden Girls, like going up, and like I'll be like,
love it. Hip hip hop. Yeah, man, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it.
Like, all right, so we did it. Yes.
I think it's really good, and you're giving me a lot to think about. I don't know that I'm totally swayed to the sharing my dreams and my goals thing. I think I can be open to it, though, with the right accountability partner. I think, and of course, this is me trying to control the situation, right? So I think with the right accountability partner, and just like kind of prefacing when I do share whatever I'm working on, just going, okay, if I'm at the part where it's at the very beginning and I don't want to be swayed away from my dream, and I don't want to get discouraged, I'm going to tell you this idea just to get it out, but you don't need to say anything. And if I'm at the point where, right? And then if I'm at the point where I'm like with you, where I'm like, I actually wrote this book. I would like for it to be published one day. Can you please read through it and just let me know, like, if you see anything that seems off, like I forget a period, or there's some typo or some grammatical error, or it just makes no sense, or there's no flow. Like those are the kind of things that I'm kind of looking for. I think at that point where I'm like, okay, this is already done. I've already done thing. Now take a look at it and give me your honest feedback. But I wouldn't do it with everybody. I would do it with you.
You know what's interesting though is that you have a blog and it's out there. And
I know
how many, and I never asked you this question. So when you write your blog, do you just write it, like go for it and then push publish? Or like, do you like sit there and read it?
So I kind of go through a process. So I'm a part of like, I don't know, like 3 writing groups right now. And I have some good accountability partners as far as my blog posts are concerned. They haven't really seen a lot of my book. I actually just started this week sharing parts of my book, and I'm highly nervous about it. High anxiety. But yeah, I'll write a post, and I will usually have these writer groups kind of read through it, give me their feedback, and then I'll push it out.
Wow.
I know. I don't know. I didn't
know that. No,
Yeah,
I mean,
isn't
it's
it
your
weird?
process. But so, I mean, like, I don't know. I guess because obviously, I've been a speaker for many years, right?
Yeah.
I don't do as much of that anymore, but I did for a lot of years. And I remember like being really like, I remember taking it real personal. Like I would get on stage and I would talk whatever the subject was.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they would have these evaluation forms, right? So I want you to think about this. You're on stage doing your very best. You've never really done that before, right? And now all the people in the audience get an evaluation form that you get to read, right? So it was really
with booze or without,
right, and like it was really, really unpleasant in the beginning because, like, let's say there's 150 plus people in the audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get 150 evals approximately. Mm-hmm. You'd get on the airplane to go home, and what are you going to do? You're going to read these evals, and I would be reading the evals, and like no joke, like out of 150, let's say 147 of them, like awesome, great, blah blah blah, right? You kind of just go, okay, great. There's a 5, there's a 5, there's a 5, there's a 5. You don't even, and then all of a sudden someone will write like a long paragraph, like, oh, that was sweet. Okay. And you're actually looking for the bad one. Like that is the craziest thing. Mm-hmm. So you're not actually looking for a good one. You're looking for a bad one. And so at least I was like, okay, great. After 100.
No, I think that's very typical. Think about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and then you get 3 bad ones, right? And they'll be like, I'm not joking. It'll be like, she talks fast, or I didn't like her outfit, or it'd be like something stupid, like the microphone didn't pick up where I had any control over that, right? But for whatever reason, I would hold on in my head and really psych myself out for the next talk. I'd be like, oh my gosh, okay, talk slower. They don't really want my personality, this, that, and the other. And then I had a mentor, and this woman who was a speaker for many years, she says, Kristin, if you're in it to get 150, like everybody liking you, you're not in it for the right reasons. Like you're never going to get that. Like that's never going to happen. If you were telling me you were getting 150 bad ones, I might be a little worried. She goes, but the fact that you're like crying over 3, like that's stupid. She says, here's the thing. You go out there, you laugh your butt off. You cry when you want to cry. You talk however you want to talk. It's for you. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. And if you're not doing it for you, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. So it actually doesn't matter. And here's the crazy thing. Do you know what I started doing after that? Not every time. I can't say it every time. But I would say for a good few months, I would get the evals and I would just send them off to the company. Like I literally didn't even look at them. I was like, I don't need to look at them. I don't want to know. And
God, I would be so curious.
But then here's the thing. Like all I would do would be like, perseverate over like this negative thing. And I really got to the place where I was like, not everybody's going to like me. And they're going to have some negative comment. And that's okay. Like, I'm okay with that because here's the other thing. They're not getting their butt up there doing it. Like they're not up there on stage and flying across the country. And, so like the same thing with your book, right? They're not writing it.
That's true. And I've written a book. And what have they written? Have they written books? Well, I am in North Carolina. So like 90% of the population here are like authors. But aside
from that. At the same time, though, like I'm just saying, like not everybody, like, it's like it's your thing. I don't know. I'm not here to convince you. You're allowed to be you. And I love you no matter what. But.
Gosh. But and I love you too. But it's so funny is that I have that perception that writing is a dream of mine. But doing this podcast with you is also a dream, right? And this was a goal of ours. Like we had talked about doing this for a very long time, and finally we were just like, we're doing it, and we snapped into action, which I love, and we keep doing it. And I honestly. Like in regard to our podcast, and I don't mean to say like, I hope we have no listeners. I want us to have all kinds of listeners. But honestly, like, I feel like I'm doing this for me and for like us. Like this is a goal that we had for years, right? Like, do you remember talking about this in New Orleans? Like when was it? Right? Like 4 years ago?
Yeah. Time's gonna take 3, but yeah, probably 4. That sounds about right.
Man, I think it was 4. And like, yeah, and we were talking about this then, and now here we are, and we're doing it. I do want to talk to you about something really, really cool that I read. There's a couple of things actually. So I'm a big reader. You're a big reader too. I'm a huge Liz Gilbert fan. Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love. She also wrote this book called Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear. I listen to it on Audible when I'm out for my walks with my dog. It is amazing. If you are in any sort of creative capacity, a writer, an actress, a musician, anything where you're creating something, and you're relying on sort of the universe to deliver you creative ideas, I would absolutely pick it up. It's definitely worth it. One of the things that she talks about in her book is the aspect of show, don't tell. She's sort of along the lines of my side of thinking, where it's like, don't tell people your goals and your dreams, show them instead. So like living out and modeling in your own life, your creative living, live the life that you talk about living, right? If you're talking about being a writer, be a writer, live that, right? So I feel like in that regard, that's kind of how I'm handling that, is that I'm living out through my actions, through my blog, through my writing of my book, through all of the guest spots, blog posts that I write for other people. I'm writing out, I'm living out being a writer. And that's kind of how I'm handling that. And another thing that she says, which goes so nicely into our topic of people saying things. She says, people's judgments about you are none of your business.
Oh, I like that.
I know, right? Isn't that great?
Yeah, so no more evaluations, people.
Yeah. People think about you, their judgments about you, they're absolutely none of my business. They're none of your business, right? And when you think
so stubborn, none of your business. None of your business. I love it.
None of your business. Exactly. And I always send you things. I don't know. I probably overshare with you. I'm not going to stop anytime soon.
I love it.
But there was this other guy, and he ended up actually writing a book based on sharing his goals and his dreams. His name is Yuval Abramovitz, and I'm sorry if I've totally butchered this man's name. He lives in Israel. He created this book called The List, or his book is called The List, and it is based on a list of goals that he wanted to accomplish within 400 days. He wrote this list out. He posted it on Facebook for the world to see and judge and make comments on. And he ended up writing a best-selling book based on that list.
That's awesome.
Sharing his dreams and his goals. And one of his goals, I don't think he's accomplished it yet. I'm rooting for him though. He would like to interview Oprah.
That would be so cool.
Right. I know.
I would like to be interviewed by her, and I'd like to like do the cool crying thing, like I just think that'd be awesome. But yeah, she makes everyone cry.
Yeah, with the right mascara. Yeah. She does. And I know that I'm a crier anyway. Like I know that I would be crying anyway. But
crying the minute I saw her. But I hope he gets to interview her. That would be so rad.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's so cool. And like one of the things on his list, in addition to interviewing Oprah, was that he wanted to take a trip to Australia for free. And he put it out there. And all of a sudden he started getting complete strangers from Australia offering him places to stay. Wow. You can come stay with us for a few days. You can come stay with us for a week. And I think he ended up actually going to Australia. For free.
Love it.
I know.
I can't believe we're already at time for the RX, because I really like this topic. We should have done two shows on this topic.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the RX for this week ties into what I was just talking about. This man, Yuval Abramovitz, his list. So the RX for this week is create your own list and share it on social media.
Ooh, on social media.
Yeah, I'm hiking the stakes. Stakes have been raised for this week.
Wow.
And
my last week was just stretching. That was easier.
I did do the stretching, but this week you're going to create a list. I'm going to create a list. This is really hard for me. And we are going to share it on social media, and I will put it up on our Supermom MD social media
All
page.
right. I will give you my list this week.
Accountable.
I love it. Because I believe if you put it into the universe, it's just, it's going to happen. I just do.
I know.
I love it. I absolutely love this show. I love getting to hang out with you. And if you guys love this show as much as we do, then definitely subscribe. You can also find us at supermommd.org. There's a button there. It says subscribe here. Click, click, click. And not that we care, but it would be cool if you did give us a review of 5 because it kind of helps us up in the podcast world. But again, and if you don't like it, don't tell us. Like, we're totally doing that too.
And if you don't like it, it's none
of our business. I love it. So I can't believe it's over. Thank you so much. And I had so much fun, Shanna.
It's always good to talk to you. I miss you so much. Much love to Jackson and to you. Many kisses.
Mwah. Right back to you guys over there. All right. Bye, you guys. Till next.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Supermom MD. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast and tune in next week as we continue to keep it real about all the ups and downs of motherhood. This is definitely not your mother's podcast.